Alright, so if you follow along with the channel, you know that a couple months ago I bought a car trailer. I bought a Big Tex 70 CH car hauler, tandem axle, 7,000 pounds. It's a beauty. I love the thing. I painted the deck. I did some upgrades to it in my last video, and now today I'm going to put a winch on it. So I did a lot of research on winches and, you know, what winch is the best, and anytime you get into what's the best of really anything, you can get into a real Ford versus Chevy debate on that. And bottom line is I went with the Warn VR 8000. I've got the VR 10,000 on my Jeep with the synthetic line. The VR 8000 that I'm putting on the car trailer is going to be, it's got the steel cable. So I didn't spring for the synthetic line. And a lot of forums that I read said for a car trailer, don't get synthetic line because it's going to drag across the body of the trailer, and it will, the line is going to drag, and it's going to fray that line if you get the synthetic line. So unanimously, the Warn winches are just legendary for their reliability, their durability, and their, you know, kind of long lifespan. And so kind of no question in my mind to go with a Warn winch. And then I had to decide between an 8,000, 10,000, 12,000. And again, Ford versus Chevy debate on that one. I settled on the 8,000, and I think that's going to be plenty of pull and plenty of muscle for what I'm going to use it for. So I was going to order this winch from Amazon, and this was a third-party seller on Amazon that had a couple of, you know, they got beat up a little bit with some of their reviews, and I was a little reluctant to pull the trigger, but they had the best price. And the price for the VR 8000 Warn steel cable was $525, and it was a lot more, closer to 600 bucks, 575, 589, 579 in other places. So I ended up calling Summit Racing and said, hey, can you price match this? And of course, Summit being Summit, and they're freaking awesome, they price matched it. And I also bought their universal winch mounting plate, and that thing for $37, I bought that, and it's unbelievably exceeded my expectations. I can't believe how heavy duty it is, and the holes are already all punched out in the it's about a 1/4 inch steel plate with curled up edges. I mean, it looks really nice, and I'll show it to you in a second. But ordered that, had it like in 2 days, and kind of been planning how to do this. And then in the kit that Warn gives you, the hardware they give you to install it kind of assumes you're going to bolt it through a 1/4 inch plate. So the bolts are this long, and I'm going through a trailer, so I did have to go by because I'm coming up from the bottom of the trailer, and I'll show you in a minute, make more sense. But I did have to go and buy some additional hardware, some longer bolts to be able to bolt this thing from the bottom of the trailer up into the winch. All right, so it's hotter than Hades out there, like I said, but I'm going to take you outside and show you guys what I got. I already kind of got stuff lined up. Nothing's installed yet, and I'll show you what I'm doing and what the game plan is. All right, so here's the trailer. I've got it kind of backed up close to my basement where I got all my tools, and there's that bad boy right there. And again, that's the Warn VR EVO 8000 steel cable. Comes pretty much all set up. All you got to do is hook up your ground line. And so I've got my positive and negatives just out here. They're eventually going to go into that toolbox right there, which is where the battery will live. And there is the universal winch mounting plate that I got from Summit Racing right here. And you can see just how substantial that thing is, and all the different holes and all the different options for many different winches. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I know that this one is 4 inches by 10 inch is the bolt pattern, and those holes in this mounting plate are pre-drilled. Also has the roller fair lead bracket right there, I guess, and then this thing will just bolt right up to it. And I've already kind of test fitted that, and those holes line up with the holes that are on there as well. So that part of it really, buying that universal plate has really made that part of it easy. And if you know me and you follow along my channel at all, you know that drill bits and I really don't get along. So as you can see, got my extra hardware there, a couple cans of spray paint, some primer, and of course, every time I know I have to drill, I'm buying new drill bits because they just don't seem to last. But got my drill. There's the transmitter, and that can be used wireless or wired. And then I did spring, and it wasn't cheap, but I did spring for this heavy-duty Warn cover, guaranteed not to fade, and it's built specifically, made specifically for that winch. So the basic game plan here is to, all I really have to do is kind of get this thing lined up. It's kind of lined up now, but I'll make it exact. And then I'm probably going to run a couple of deck screws, to be honest, just to hold that plate in place. And then I'm going to mark my holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, drill them out. And in that process, I'll at least drill through the top plate. And then I'll use the top plate as a template to mark where I'm going to make the steel plate for the bottom. And I'll drill that out as well. Get everything mounted. I'm going to use my hole saw and put a hole right through this front part of the trailer right here, this piece, and go right in through the toolbox as well. And that's where I'm going to run my line. So I'll do about a 1-inch hole there, and I think I have a 1-inch grommet I can put around it so they won't get cut or frayed. And hopefully with that lip, this lip right here, you're not going to get any water in the toolbox there. But if I do, I can deal with that too. So that's the general game plan, and I'm pretty excited to get started and get this thing mounted, test it out. All right, so quick update is I got everything lined up, centered up, and where I wanted it, and I just kind of put it in and held it in with these little deck screws, and that held it in place, which was really handy. And then I drilled the 4 bolts, 2 there and 2 there for the winch, and then I put 1 extra here on that end and then 1 on that end, and that's just kind of a little bit of extra insurance for the winch plate there, in case the main bolts break. At least the winch plate is not going to go anywhere. I got some grade 8 hardware for that, and my drill bits held up. Can't believe it. That drill is really hot, but those new drill bits work good, and I don't think I smoked them, so I'll be able to use them again. So I'm going to get this cleaned up, and then I think the next thing I want to do is I got to drill a hole through this lip of the trailer here and right into the toolbox where I can run my wires from my battery. So the other thing that I noticed is this roller fair lead. Man, it is like that tight. So you have got to put these bolts in this way and get this thing bolted up. There's no way it's going to go like that with the nut over there facing the winch. So you got to get these in, and I'm going to bolt that to the winch mount prior to mounting the winch, because I don't think you can get it after the fact. So that's one thing I did notice in my test fits. Got to get this roller fair lead mounted on first. All right, so fast forward a little bit, and there's the winch, and it's all mounted, and I've got the wires successfully loomed. I've got them coming in through here like this, connected to my battery. Battery's fully charged, and this is what I get. There's the remote. It's plugged in. See the lights on, so I got power. Here's what I get. So I don't know if you could hear that clicking sound if that came out in the video, but bottom line is this battery's no good. And I know that because off camera I hooked up my truck cables, my jumper cables to this with my truck running, and the winch works just fine. So that confirms that it's wired correctly, and this battery's just crap. All right, so that's kind of frustrating that the battery's bad, but that's the way it goes. That's the battery actually out of my 78 Camaro, and I really thought it was good, but obviously it's not. So I started digging around online on Amazon, on Google, you know, hey, what's a good battery for a winch for a car trailer? And the red top Optima's popped up as probably the best choice as far as the battery goes, and there's probably other good choices out there, but that's the one that I saw. And those red top Optimas are about 280 bucks. And I started doing some research on some solutions, some alternative solutions to getting some power to your winch, your car trailer winch, without having to spend 280 bucks on a new battery. And let me show you what I came up with. All right, so I know that there's a way to hook up your 7-pin connector to your battery. You can mount a battery charger in your toolbox on your trailer, and you can use that to charge your battery when your truck's running. But to me, a much better way to do this is to essentially wire up the winch with a quick disconnect as if it was part of your truck. So instead of mounting it on the front of the truck and running the winch cables directly to the battery, you're essentially running a long, call it a jumper cable, essentially, with these quick disconnects. And this one is going to connect to the battery of the truck and run. I'm going to have to weave it down kind of underneath the truck, tuck it in the frame rail, zip tie it up, and then mount this somewhere on the bottom of the rear bumper. And then this part attaches to your winch,
and that's your quick disconnect. You can just keep this part in the trailer on your car trailer. I'm sorry, on the toolbox on your car trailer, and essentially you just eliminated a battery because you're using the battery from your truck instead of having a separate battery that you always have to worry about charging and maintaining. Plus those red top Optimas, and I know that's not the only choice out there, but those things were about 280 bucks, and I bought this whole kit right here for right about 150 bucks. And so let me tell you, let me show you where I got this. This is an Amazon seller, polepal.usa.com, and they make custom cable sets. These are not 100% copper. I don't believe they're the aluminum wrapped infused copper or whatever, so a little bit cheaper than the pure copper ones. But these things have got some great reviews online, and it's a made in the USA product, which I always try to do if I can. So I ordered this. This is 24 feet, and this section here is 6 feet. Comes with the dust covers, and it also came with this little jumper set right here with these parrot jaws, which are pretty strong. And then it came with all this other stuff that I did not order. A little pocket knife, which is pretty cool. Custom cable sets, and if you flip this over, they make flagpole lights, hand-painted eagles for flagpoles. Gave you a couple pieces of candy, a pair of gloves, and they gave me this ornament, which is pretty cool because that's the globe and anchor, and my dad is a Marine, so he will appreciate this. It'll be a Christmas gift that I give to him. And very genuine thank you card. We appreciate your business. Honestly, we do. We're a small business, etc., etc. But man, pretty cool. 100%. If you're not 100% happy, give us a call. Personalized note. There's some of the other things they make, and pretty cool. I ordered this Monday night, and today's Thursday. It came out of, I believe, the Northeast, and I'm down here just outside of Atlanta, so I got it pretty quick. So this is my solution to a battery in the car trailer that, again, I'm always going to have to mess with and deal with. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this zip tie here and start wiring this thing through. I think the hardest part, let me show you guys this. The hardest part will probably be finding a place in this truck. Obviously, here's the battery, no problem there. And I'm probably going to run it down somewhere in there. Once I get it through the engine compartment, running it down the frame rails here shouldn't be a problem at all. And I'm going to get to it, and let's see if this works, and hopefully it's a great setup. All right, fast forward a little bit, and I've got the 24-foot section of this cable run from the battery of my truck all the way down the frame rail right here. Nice clean installation, zip tied it up, and then I've got it, I was going to mount it under there with some sheet metal screws, and just I just didn't want to see it. It's kind of a new truck, so, or a newer truck, and I didn't want to do that. And as infrequent as I'm going to use this setup here, just decided to bungee it up underneath there. So I did tell you guys something wrong earlier in the video. I said that the kit was 150 bucks for the 24-foot cable and the 6-foot extension, and it was actually 107, but they do charge shipping. I think it was like 12 bucks. And then I bought these, and these little guys here were 20 bucks. And basically what this, I didn't think 6 foot would be enough to run through the toolbox, wire up to the winch, and then still reach the back of my truck with this, you know, the tongue of the trailer here. So I bought these things, and it just saves you the trouble of having to recrimp, you know, 2-gauge wire, and simply just bolts on like that and then clicks shut. It's supposed to click shut. I can't really do it with one hand, so got the GoPro in the other hand. But anyways, that's kind of the concept there. So that actually gave me the factory leads from Warn, the extra length for that to reach to the back of the truck. And this is a 4-door 2500 Chevrolet 2021, and 24 feet. I didn't cross over. Batteries on this side of the truck on the driver's side, and I came straight down the frame rail, and I probably could have got away with 22. A lot of the kits are 22, but it would have been kind of tight. So 24 is about the right length. You can do it with 22 as long as you stay on the frame rail side, the driver's side, that's equal or the same side as your battery. So just letting you guys know that and throwing that out there. So Anyway, so there's the dead battery. There's the winch, obviously. Got these things hooked up. I'm going to go off camera, get these things closed, pull down the quick disconnect from there, hook it up to the quick disconnect here, and let's see if we can make this winch work. All right, so I got that hooked up, got the truck running, got these things hooked up and shut, and got a light. Not going to go out without me pulling on it, but all right, so like I said, 107 for the kit, about 12 bucks to ship it, and about 20 bucks for these things off Amazon. But it just saved me a headache of having to crimp that 2-gauge wire. Like I said, eliminating a battery, at least in my case, not going to see a lot of use, so I'm always going to have to worry about, is my battery charged, maintaining the battery and all that. Plus the battery, like I said earlier in the video, and I know there's probably other options, but 280 bucks for an Optimum battery, not worth it. So this setup runs the winch off the truck, the tow vehicle, and I love it. Simple, easy to do. It took me about, I'd say about an hour and a half to run the cable from the battery to the back of the truck, tucking it up, zip tying it, making sure it's not visible, making sure it's not around any heat, and man, cool setup. All right, so there it is, one winch mounted to a trailer with a really cool setup that eliminates a battery. Couldn't be happier with it, and man, I am ready to test this thing out and go have some fun.